what is going on with Justin Fields. I watch Justin Fields and I see that his arm is big time. I see that he can run amazingly. And I know that he produced on a college level. And yet, the field vision seems to be not there at all. Like, I was feeling very positive about him going into this year, especially because Matt Nagy is one of the worst head coaches of the past 5 years in the NFL. Nathaniel Hackett might be catching up to him. But in terms of offensive minds that have come from good systems and been head coaches for their team, very few people have done a worse job than Matt Nagy with how he managed that offense. And so I was like, look, the physical tools are there. Justin Fields seems like a great guy, leader, all those kinds of things. He looks like the quarterback, like he's buttoned up and handsome and like looks like he could be the face of your franchise. I know that's just kind of a silly point, but he everything seems like it should be there. But why don't they trust him? And why can't he see guys at all? And look, worst receiver room in the NFL.
Yeah,
Get it.
almost,
Definitely.
certainly, no question.
But it still is really concerning that he's not throwing any passes.
But better players do more with less. That's, I think, what we've always been saying, in the sense of, like, rookies with a similar or worse, cupboard of resources have shown themselves to perform better than he has so far.
I just can't tell if the coaching staff is doing him a massive disservice and by not trusting him, or if there's stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about why they don't trust him.
It just also might be, and it's still a small sample because he really hasn't been in the league that long, but it just might be the case, for certain, because I think this does happen with some quarterbacks, that the processing and the skill, or the processing and the upside, don't match up. Because he can throw a beautiful deep ball.
Yeah.
He has great physical tools. He really
Drew
can.
Lock is an example of that.
He also can run with the ball. Exactly, in the sense of, like, it's just the actual game speed and the actual processing, the actual eye movement of just, like, seeing who's open and seeing plays is just not. It's still. I have not seen anything to prove to me that it's there yet.
He locks onto guys, and I don't
Absolutely.
see his head swiveling back and forth in the pocket when he's looking
or any sort of
misdirection
field. Or any sort of misdirection with his eyes either.
Right, and so when he gets a guy open, he has the arm. He should be able to make any throw. It's just there's something going on with Justin Fields, either behind the scenes that we don't know about. This is my guess, or with why the coaching staff isn't trusting him, or Eberflus is an idiot.
Well, the other thing I will say is I do think that my one big tiff with Ryan Poles with Eberflus as the selection is well, first of all, I mean, obviously don't want to rate a coach or evaluate a coach based on his worst performance, but, like, Matt Eberflus was hired after literally losing a Week 17 game to the Jaguars to not make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
In a as defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts last year. But my thinking is just, why go for a defense first coach when the key to success, at least in my view, is Justin Fields hitting as your quarterback.
Because they don't believe in him. That's the reality.
And I think even
he'll
just
be on a new team soon.
Yeah, and I think that's I think me asking that question is leading to that answer.
But this is why the Bears are just. Thank you for the first round pick. But why the hell did you guys? Why did the Bears as an organization allow their hot seat Ryan Pace, not Poles, very confusing, hot seat general manager, which we confused in episode 1, Ryan Pace? Ryan Pace. Why did they allow Ryan 1 and Matt Nagy to trade up their first round pick for a quarterback when they were both on the hot seat and they were out the next year? And they had a new, they didn't have a first round pick going into this year. What kind of, like, terribly managed organization does that crap?
While also, like, contracting Mike Glennon and contracting Nick Foles, like, and contracting Andy Dalton. Like, it's just, it's a combination, I think, of, like, poor prospect evaluation, poor roster construction, and poor financial management. I mean, it's everything. Like, as much as I can give those critiques of Fields' game, it's also he couldn't be in a worse position to succeed
Yes.
also.
So that's why it's hard to discern, but I'm rooting for him to a degree. So I just want this to get ironed out either way. And hopefully it works out for him because the Bears don't seem to have much confidence in him. And I can't tell if it's the Bears being the Bears or if Fields really does have some red flags.